Right, so before we actually continue, there's something I kind of want to discuss. We now have all of the Korok leaves annotated on our map for the Gerudo Highlands, and that's what I'm going to do. The reason is because there are 13 regions in the whole place, and a lot of them you don't really go to, and you won't get a chance to actually complete them all. So sometimes I want to complete other regions in between Divine Beast encounters. Now this is the obvious one to do alongside the Gerudo Desert, simply because, come on, it's right pretty much connected in the same place. So we're going to do two birds with one stone, but I thought I'd actually put a little story progression thing in between, just to make things flow a little better than back-to-back montages. Right, the first one we're going to is to the west of the Gerudo Tower, down to the bottom of this cliff right here. What we're going to do is we're going to, once again, do as we've done before, go south to north and go in west to east lines until we've done everything. The first Korok is an archery lesson. Use a bomb arrow when they all come close, it's the quickest way to get it done. Next up, we're going further west on this cliff, going to the other end of, I guess, the tail of the top of face or something. There is another rock formation, and we need to put a rock in the right place. There is a missing bit in the overlapping bit. Next up, we're going further west, just down the mountain a little bit, and there are two Yiga clan-faced offerings being asked for. Now, because they are Yiga clan and not the Kakariko people, the Sheikah even, we don't need to offer bananas, or we don't need to offer apples, we need to offer bananas. It's nice and interesting. This is actually going to be a series we'll be seeing real soon. That's because the next one up the same mountain asks for 3 mighty bananas. I need to go get some. Next up, even though there is more of a series to do along here, we're going to go way back east again because the next southern one, or I guess the next northern one, is actually just south of the Sapphire's Tabor and Zirco Mesa. And once you get here, you realize it's just a simple little cube puzzle. The cube's not even hidden, and the puzzle is pretty easy. Alright, that is there. Next up, we're going between Sapphire's Table and the Zirco Mesa. Well, that didn't go as planned, but we made it. It's another rock formation, and instead of filling out the circle, you need to put it in the right place. There are supposed to be 3 rock integers, but one has only 2, so complete it, and you're done. Next up, I want to go way back west again. We're going to complete the rest of the Mighty Banana series. Next, we're going just west of the last 2 we went to. And it's just a single 1 Mighty Banana offering they asked for. Next up, we are further up the Yiga clan path, and now we need 4! Can you see how this is a series? It's kind of obvious, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. And finally, just a tiny bit further up the path, again, these are all up on rocks along the sides of the path, so really, if you could just find the markers that I've got on the map and then climb climb the cliffs, you should find them. The last one is all 5. Thankfully, I've gotten a whole bunch. That was a pun, I just realised. Ugh. Next up, we're going a little north of this whole series. On the other side of the path, way up high, there is another cube puzzle for us, and it's pretty simple too. However, the cube is actually on a pillar way off out of the way. Don't you dare. Don't you fall. I'm not allowing that. And that's not stable. Nope. No. No. This is a simple puzzle, guys. Next up, we're going to that famous ring I keep mentioning in the main series. What we need to do is go through the hoop, and there is a really high up cliff, and underneath the rock is a Korok. Just a little east of that, there is another mountain, and at the top there is a golfing game. Where did it even go? Okay. Okay, I guess I'm restarting this puzzle too. Next up, we're going just north of Sapphire's Table. This is painful how badly I can do these puzzles, apparently. Or even get to the Korok in this case. This one's a nice simple rock puzzle, except the rock is on the other side of a really thin cliff path, but as long as you hug the wall, you're fine. Fill in the circle. Next up, we're going to the peak of the Zerko Mesa. Underneath a rock, here's your Korok. To the east of the Zerko Mesa, just down this long mountain path, there is a massive rock formation of circles within circles within circles times 3. So what we need to do is find which one's missing. You'll notice that 2 of the circles always have a rock in the very center, followed by 6 on the outer and then even more on the outside that I don't want to count. But the very first one does not, and there is a missing piece or an unused piece in this weird mound here. So just connect the dots, I guess. Wow, that was also kind of punish. Anyway, fill the formation, you get your Korok. Next up, we're going far off to the west, just to Rutania's Hill, I think that said. All that's required of us for this one is picking up a rock. Oddly though, it's not on like the top of a rock right in the center, it's off to the side, so it's kind of a more subtle Korok, really. I would have thought this was just a normal rock. I wouldn't even think to look underneath it. Get out of here, rock. Next is literally just down south on this pillar here. Wow. Actually, do we have to use the rock from the last Korok? That would have been cool if you had to use the rock from the last Korok. They're very obscure if you didn't know about that first Korok. Also, there's moose here, which we never get to actually see, so I'm going to take the opportunity to take them right out. Thank you. Oh, that went right well. What? Right well? White well? Right well? Whatever. Fill in the circle, get your Korok. Okay, next we're going right to the very peak of Medella's Mantle. These are interesting names. Oh, these guys have like rhinos. Wow. Though they do not want to die. Seriously? Come on. I just want some meat. And for this Korok, you need to, just actually chase after it. Cool. There is also a treasure here, but I'm not going to get it yet because I'm not doing the all treasures in this region yet, simply because of time management. I will do it in some time in the future, but for now, I'm just going to leave that off there. Sorry. Next up, we're going just by the La Porra Mesa, just south of the shrine. And all we need to do is melt this block of ice. I'm going to do it really passively because I feel like it, just to prove that it can be done. Give me a moment. This next one is also on the Mesa, just about on the eastern chunk. It is again behind a fire arrow. Why did you guys have to show up as soon as I started shooting at it? Come on, man. Oh, and I've still got to examine it. Damn it, I can't just run away. And I don't want to flurry rush the... Oh. Right, next up we are going east again, down to this little guy, because we missed him. And when you fly down here, you shall find it is another rock pattern. Next up, I think we're going to go far to the west again. Yeah, because we're going to go for the Koroks right by the Gerudo Summit, just south. The southeast corner? Southeast. Now this one took me way too long to realise, but where we actually need to go is on the other side of this massive ravine, because also there's an air current that I guess is supposed to be an indication. It is a platform race. I thought you had to melt the ice. I was wrong. So you just need to use one end from here to the other end and fly along. Next up, we're going to the left side of the bridge, just west of the Mesa, on the eastern end of the Highlands. It is a cube puzzle and a cube puzzle. I guess it's a square puzzle of a cube puzzle. Anyway. And next, we are just a tiny bit east of the Mesa. Once again, there is a tree way down here. Kind of very subtle. Very, very kind of subtle. Very subtle, subtle. There is an examinable Korok at the top of this tree. Just climb it and press A. Next one we're going to is probably the farthest east one of all. It's going to take us to the edge of this place. It's another archery place. Also, though, when was the last time we saw this kind of view? beautiful. You can see Death Mountain, some new mountain, and we can see our next destination. Anyway, that's a thing for the future. Let's move on to the far west again. At this point, we are going just east of Mount Agat on the west side of the Gerudo Highlands. I used pins to note these Koroks because I've only used Korok pins on the map at this point, and there's still more than 100. There are 103, I think, Koroks in the Gerudo and Wasteland region. Sheesh. Anyway, we need to be just a little bit north of the shrine. I would highly recommend you find it if you don't have it, because it's a good reference point. It's the only one I've really got other than the east side of Mount Agat. And you will find a nice chunky ice block that we need to not bomb through, burn through. Or I guess melt through. Next up, we're going west of the Gerudo summit, because there are 3 on the western edge, but none on top. So the first one is a flower chase that makes you climb the entire cliff. Oh. Further to the north, we have a cube puzzle. Nice and simple. Peblets, please don't be a trouble for me, can you? What's interesting, though, is the cube isn't actually on this mountain, and it's actually quite a fun place if you ask me. It's actually down on this cliff here, being guarded by a couple of bokoblins. So there's only one real way to get this thing. Come on. You don't need to fight these guys. What you need to do is you need to freeze them both. Don't get hurt. Get back your flame blade, because it won't make you freeze. And then just push them off. Like, why wouldn't you? Wow, that did a lot more momentum than I thought it would, but man, I'm using that in the future. Lovely. And our next one is even more to the north. For this, though, it's another platform race. The platform itself can be found further north on this corner here, and it makes you glide along the current to the target. Next up, we are kind of in the top of Gerudo Summit, just a bit east of it. It's this weird little mountain here. And it's just another rock formation, this time being the symbol of the main character from Shaolin Showdown on his forehead, that symbol. Anyway, just fill in the gaps and you're good, and don't get shot by arrows. Next up, just a little bit north. I need to stop saying next up because it's really annoying me now, let alone you, who's probably heard it in montage form. Anyway, we need to go to the wooden planks, paths, whatever. Underneath a rock is one of our final Koroks. Now, northeast of the bridge, west of the Mesa, but now I guess we're just north of the Mesa, there's another rock formation. One circle has too many rocks, the other one doesn't have it filled. Actually, it's not even the circle we need to complete, it's just between circles to make the infinite sign, but it's 3. So a DNA sign, I guess? I'm not good at explaining things. You can see it with your own eyes. Okay, it's time for the final few. So this one, you need to complete a rock puzzle on the northern part of the north of the Gerudo summit. The tricky part, though, is the rock is separate from the rock formation, and the actual formation is up high on a mountain. So you have 2 real techniques you can use. Octo balloons and a Korok leaf, or stasis. Not very reliable. Let's see how this goes. Wow, I've taken so long doing this that my battery has literally died in my left Joy-Con. Oh man, I don't even know how I did it. I think it was just luck and stasis. I think even the guy helped me or something. Don't do that, thank you. Wow, this has taken forever and a half to do. Just let it be done. Okay, last two. Next one's more to the north. On this, what is it, like Miss Starly's staff or something? Also, the snow and shield surfing is the best combination, so... I was going to say I can't complain, but I absolutely can. Anyway, for this one, it is a platform race from one end of the platform to the other, I think. Pretty easy. Yeah, really, look at that. Just one level higher. Not a very intense race, I must admit. And finally, we're going to the very top northwest. For this one, what we need to do is we need to play golf with a cliff. There are 3 boulders up high. We just need to push them in. Like so. Not like so. Okay, can you at least, like, stay stable on the cliff? There we go. Okay, we can push you later. Later. Alright, let's try the third one. I think what I'm going to have to do is stasis it while I'm down there to make sure it actually sticks around. Wow, okay, yep, definitely going to have to do this. Okay, there we go. That is all of everything done. Okay? That is all of the Koroks in the Gerudo and Wasteland region. The Gerudo Highlands, Gerudo Desert, Gerudo everything is done. Okay? I'm done. We were at 120 Koroks when we started. Now we're at 222. Haven't quite doubled, but goddamn, we've done a lot. There are 122 Koroks in these 2 regions, apparently, if my maths is correct. I think so. That makes sense. Good lord. Okay. And if you're wondering why there's 3 pins when I said there's only 122, oh, shoot, that can't be right. There are 102 Koroks in these 2 regions. If you're wondering why I have 3 pins on the map, if I have 102 Koroks, surely that means there would be 100 Korok pins, and then 3 pins makes 103. I didn't pin the Korok leaf symbol in Gerudo Town, so there are 102 rupees, a few more than 102 rupees, I'll have you know. There's 102 Koroks in the Gerudo everything, and I've done it. God damn it. Let's move on with the story. My name's been Daz. You didn't really care, and I will see you in a bit. One day I'll have 900 Koroks. One day, I tell ya.